This story was sent to me by one of my subscribers. Shout out to Ashton Lewis for sending it to me by way of Tariq Nasheed because I believe he got it from him. If y'all don't know who this woman is, who looks as every bit of like a witch that stirs her cauldron all day and probably puts people in it, this woman's name is Gianna Constand. She is the mother of Andrea Constand, the woman who was, I guess you could say, the prime accuser in the Bill Cosby trial. So there were recent developments that came up about this woman where she is a staunch racist. I mean, are we surprised? This whole entire case with Bill Cosby had racism written entirely all over it. But now this recent development that's come out has let us know that this was indeed more of a witch hunt than we had all perceived, even though many of us already knew what it was. But the title reads, Cosby accuser's family despises black people and use Cosby for revenge on quote unquote all black people. Now I'm going to go ahead and read this article that is coming from yc.news. Andrea's mother hates black men. Robert Russell, a close friend of the Constand family, told YC during an exclusive interview in a suburban hotel outside of Philadelphia. Andrea Constand is the lone Cosby accuser who brought criminal charges against the comedian for an alleged assault that occurred nearly 18 years ago. What they have done is disgraceful, Russell told us. I'll never forget when she told me she'd like to see all niggers gathered together and killed. That is genocide. She spoke like Adolf Hitler. I realized what I was getting involved in and got out of it like a bat out of hell. That family was dark and I don't want anything to do with them. She despised black people. She didn't want any black men or women in her house. Russell sat down with our investigative team and provided the testimony Judge Stephen T. O'Neill barred from after Montgomery County District Attorney Kevin Steele thought it would impact jurors by painting a negative picture of Andrea Constand and her background, who alleges Bill Cosby drugged and sexually assaulted her in his Cheltenham home nearly 18 years ago. Not one bit of sexual assault is tolerable. Bill Cosby is definitely not proud of some of the things that happened during his marriage, but does that add up to sexual assault? Bruce Castor opened an investigation on Bill Cosby for reports of a powerful black man sexually assaulting a white woman. After a lengthy investigation, he found Constand was incredible given her extreme contradictions on what happened, when it happened, and why it happened. The prosecution entrusted this family on a case who, according to our source, made it clear they despise black men and wanted revenge on black people after their daughter lost her boyfriend to a black woman. Well, well, well. How about that? She didn't like that, Russell told us, referring to Gianna Constand, Andrea's mother. She, as an Andrea, would do anything to please her parents. Constand allegedly had a brief relationship with NBA star Steve Nash, which was cut short after he was photographed with a black woman who Andrea's mother referred to as a bimbo, according. Sorry for the brief interruption, but I will leave the link to this article down in the description, and it actually has a picture of Steve Nash with the woman that he's with, and she's gorgeous. And now I can see why she's mad. And the thing is, it's amazing that she came and called the black woman a bimbo, but she didn't say anything about Steve Nash. I'm almost certain that it probably wasn't even this woman that broke up their relationship. Steve Nash probably saw something better and was like, bump you, and went and got her. But I'll leave the link and you'll be able to see her picture. Let's see here. It says, and it said that I don't know if they are even still together, but that's besides the point. Kevin Steele spoke about 2015, but he missed the whole point. Something interesting happened in 2015. Kevin Steele was running for district attorney against Bruce Castor. Steele reached out to the Constand family through their attorney Dolores Troani and reopened the criminal investigation against Cosby, an opportunity to make national headlines and likely boost his publicity locally. Andrea's mother, according to our source, wasn't pleased with the decision not to prosecute Cosby because she's a hardened racist. Gianna Constand told Russell in 2001 after Steve Nash was photographed with a black woman, "Look at this bimbo," enraged that Nash chose her over Andrea. You have a lying mother, the personification of evil, who likely urged her daughter to file charges after her parents saw Andrea gain nothing out of the relationship with Bill Cosby. So basically, it seems like this mother is pushing all of this just to squeeze money out of any black person out of the pure hatred that Steve Nash ended up with this black woman and not with her white daughter. That's what I'm getting from all of this. And the thing is, all in the end, Andrea Constand became a lesbian. She said if she ever saw her daughter in an interracial relationship, she would stop her, and if she couldn't, she'd make something up. If jurors lost their trust in Constand, the prosecution would have likely lost the case, as her testimony was the only one permitted to be considered evidence. Still, after communicating with Constand through her attorney in 2015, received $100,000 in his campaign fund from his brother in Florida. Don't be fooled, Russell told us. Gianna Constand isn't just Andrea's mother. She represents the entire Montgomery. Sorry about that. As they barred any testimony that would have hurt her reputation to jurors, including her hatred and anger towards black people. This all goes back to her first boyfriend, hands down. Now, see, now knowing all of this, I wish they would have brought this into the case. They would have said, oh, they probably would have said, oh, it had nothing to do with it, but I think it had everything to do with it, to be quite honest. The defining moment of the trial revolved around the jurors believing Constand was a holistic person from a welcoming family, something that would have been refuted if Robert Russell were able to testify to his past with the family. When asked if he believed Constand would lie to please her mother, Russell told us absolutely, she would do anything to please her parents. Steele's entire campaign was based on convicting Bill Cosby, and Andrea Constand's mother's entire motive behind the case was about convicting a powerful black man, even if it involved wrongfully convicting a man to save face. By forbidding such testimony from the ears of the jury, Montgomery County opened its doors and allowed a racist, evil, dangerous, and scary family into their courtroom for what Russell believed was part of the plan to get revenge on black people, and they succeeded. When I saw all of this, I said to myself, that's a lie, that's a lie, that's a lie. Russell said, speaking about when he first saw Bill Cosby was charged for sexually assaulting Andrea Constand. I know what that family is capable of doing. It doesn't surprise me. It's like this I don't know how else to say it. She pulled it off. All I can say is that family has the capability of doing that kind of stuff. I saw how her mother was setting Andrea up to get exactly what Andrea's mother wanted: money and revenge. Every time I look at the pictures when she's walking in the court, she has that smile. She has that smirk. Man, if I was raped and I was coming to court, I would not have a smile on my face. She's walking, she's gloating. She knows exactly what she's doing. Andrea Constand. Russell paused. I don't want to be in her life. I don't want her anywhere close to me. If jurors didn't trust Constand or Steele, there would be nothing left, as no evidence was provided to back her allegations. Jurors relied solely on Andrea Constand's account of what happened in the prosecution statements. When Steele and Russell's statement, he knew that testimony like that would stir too much controversy inside what would result in a major implication in the courtroom and outside of it. 3 criminal charges promised during an unethical campaign for the district attorney's office were filed against my husband, Camille Cosby wrote in a statement earlier this week, all based on what I believe to be a falsified account by the newly elected district attorney's key witness. I firmly believe her recent testimony during trial was perjured. As was shown at trial, it was unsupported by any evidence and riddled with innumerable dishonest contradictions. This is wrong, Russell said. Bill Cosby was entitled to an acquittal. I can't speak for any of the other accusers, but when it comes to Andrea Constand, I could have showed them who she really was. Andrea Constand's mother coached her. I think Gianna was sitting back, accumulating information, taking notes after notes after notes in order to accomplish one goal. I think Andrea's mother also always went back to Andrea's first boyfriend, Steve Nash. She carried that bitterness, that hate towards a black man. This was her opportunity to rebel against a black man. I think that's what she did, and when she saw it was time to put a hook in Bill Cosby, I think that Andrea's mother coached her in how to put up a hook in him. Her knowing Bill Cosby, it was time for evil and good to fight one another. When asked why Andrea would take any pills, which experts testified were Benadryl, the only thing I could think of, she's planning. She has a plan to tear someone apart. Since when are all accusers truthful? Camille Cosby wrote in a statement earlier this week. History disproves that. For example, Emmett Till's accuser immediately comes to mind. In 1955, she testified before a jury of white men in Mississippi courtroom that a 14-year-old African-American boy had sexually assaulted her, only to later admit several decades later in 2008 that her testimony was false. The worst injustices, however, have been carried out in the Pennsylvania Montgomery County Courthouse. 3 criminal charges promised during an unethical campaign for the district attorney's office were filed against my husband, all based on what I believe to be a falsified account by the newly elected district attorney's key witness. I firmly believe her recent testimony during the trial was perjured. As was shown at trial, it was unsupported by any evidence and riddled with innumerable dishonest contradiction. Moreover, Bill Cosby's defense team introduced the testimony of a witness who confirmed that the district attorney's witness admitted that she had not been sexually assaulted, but that she could say she was and get money, which is exactly what she did. Once again, an innocent person has been found guilty based on any unthinking, unquestioning, unconstitutional frenzy propagated by the media and allowed to play out in a supported court of law. This is mob justice, not real justice. This tragedy must be undone, not just for Bill Cosby, but for the country. I wish to thank the witnesses who courageously came forward at trial to testify as to the truth, as well as those witnesses who would have done so, but for the judge preventing them from testifying. Someday the truth will prevail. It always does. Woo! That was a lot to read, I know, but I had to read that entire article just so y'all can get a understanding of who this woman is, both Andrea Constand and apparently her wicked ass mother. Like, you can tell by the look on her face that she is proud of the dirty work that she did, and they kept this guy away from testifying because that would have blew it sky high. Like, it would have all went shot to hell. And see, now the court of public opinion already knows, like, in their head what they feel towards Andrea Constand and, you know, the whole situation and Bill Cosby. But so now, even with, I'll put it this way, even with all of this coming out, the damage is done. But now we know the pretty much a good backstory of how all of this began. It was pure hatred and envy and jealousy because she is racist. She got mad that a white man would prefer to be with a black woman over her own daughter, and she had to set another black man up. That's the thing that confuses me. Like, you got mad that a white man went with a black woman over your daughter, so you had to find a way to destroy, in her eyes, black people by getting her hooks in a black man some way, but not through her, but through her own daughter. And like it says in the article, unfortunately, it worked. Crazy. Like I said, I will leave the link in the to the article in the description. Y'all let me know what you think. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and I will talk to you in the next one.